Why smart people often feel lonely? Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt lonely even when people are around you? Not because you hate people, not because you think you are better than them, but because you feel different. You listen more than you speak. You observe more than you react. You think deeply, sometimes too deeply. And slowly you start feeling like no one really gets me. If that sounds familiar, listen carefully. Because this loneliness isn't random. Psychology has been studying this for decades. Today we will talk about why intelligent, deep thinking people often feel lonely, not as a weakness, but as a side effect of how their mind works. And most importantly, what can you do about it? Point number one, you think deeper than most people. Psychology shows that high cognitive ability often come with deep processing. In simple words, you just don't hear things, you analyze them. When someone says something, your mind asks, why did they say this? What do they really mean? What's the bigger picture? Most conversations in daily life are surface level. Gossips, complaints, repetitions, small talks, but your brain doesn't enjoy that for long. Research in cognitive psychology show that people with higher intelligence often experience cognitive mismatch. Their level of thinking doesn't match the environment. So what happens? You start feeling bored, disconnected, unstimulated, and slowly you withdraw not because you're arrogant, but because your mind is hungry for depth and not noise. Loneliness begins when your thoughts have nowhere to go. Point number two, you are more self aware, and that can hurt. Psychologists call this high self awareness. You notice your flaws, you question your actions, you replay conversations in your head. While others move on easily, you think, did I say the wrong thing? Should I reacted differently? What does this say about? Studies shows that intelligent people are more prone to overthinking, not because they are weak, but because their brain is capable of complex reflection. This creates loneliness in two ways. You don't fake emotion easily, you don't connect through shallow validations. You'd rather be alone than to be fake. But here's the hard truth, the world rewards confidence and not reflections. So while others bond easily, you stay silent and feel unseen. Point number three, you don't fit social expectations. Society quietly expects people to laugh at the same joke, follow trends, chase status, speak without thinking too much. But intelligent minds often question norms. You may not enjoy loud crowds, meaningless competitions, showing off. Psychology calls this non-conformity, and research shows that non-conforming individuals often experience social isolation, not because they reject people, but because people feel uncomfortable around someone who doesn't follow the script. You may have noticed you are called too serious or overthinking or boring, but the truth is, you are just not wired for superficial living, and that difference creates distance. Point number four, you value quality over quantity in relationships. This is a big one. Psychological studies shows that intelligent individuals prefer fewer but deeper relationships. You don't want 100 contacts, constant chatting, empty friendships. You want honest conversations, emotional depth, mutual understanding. The problem? Most people bond over shared habits, shared environment, shared distractions. You bond over values, ideas, meaning that makes finding your people harder, but not impossible. So instead of many friends, you may have one or two, or sometimes none. And during those phases, loneliness hit hard. But understand this, loneliness doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It often means you haven't met aligned mind yet. Point number five, you see reality more clearly, and that can isolate you. This is the hardest truth. Psychology and philosophy both agree. Greater awareness often brings existential loneliness. You notice how temporary things are, how people avoid truth, how distractions control lives. While others escape through entertainment, you sit with uncomfortable thoughts. Your question, your purpose of life, your time, life directions, and that awareness separates you from them. As philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said, the more intelligent a person is, the less satisfied they are with existence. Not because the life is bad, but because you see it more clearly than others. That clarity can feel isolating. Now, what you should do? Now, listen carefully. Loneliness is not your enemy, misunderstanding it is. Here's what psychology suggests: stop trying to fit everywhere. Find fewer but deeper connections, online or even offline. Channel your mind into creations, writing, learning, teaching. Lonely mind thrives when creating meaning. Accept solitude without glorifying isolation. Solitude is healthy. Permanent isolation is not. Find communities of thought, not noise. Books, long form content, discussions. This is where your people exist. Understand the phase is not permanent, but many intelligent people feel lonely before they feel alive. If you feel lonely because you think deeply, you are not broken. You are just early, you are just aware, you are just wired differently. And one day, your mind will stop feeling like a burden and start feeling like a gift. Until then, stay steady, stay honest, and don't abandon yourself just to feel less alone. This is the Manu Mic. We'll meet in the next video.